Hi, my name is Frank Simmerjay. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager with Trustworthy Computing here at Microsoft. Today I have Vinny Galato and Tim Raines. Vinny Galato, the General Manager of the Malware Protection Center, and Tim Raines, the Director with Trustworthy Computing Communications Team. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Today I'd like to have a conversation, if you don't mind, about Security Intelligence Volume 10. This is one of the largest editions we've put out. Tim, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this latest edition.
Sure. Like you mentioned, Frank, it's the largest volume we've ever published in the past. So this particular report focuses on over 117 countries in the world, which is, gives you malware deep dives in each one of those countries so that you can understand what's happening in each one of those countries from a malware infection perspective, which is helpful for companies and enterprises that do business all over the world, and also helpful for people to understand what the local threats are in their region. We get this data from a lot of different data sources. It's just not one view of the data, but sort of a multifaceted view of the data. Some of the most noteworthy places we get the data from, things like Internet Explorer, the smart screen filter and phishing filters that are built into that product. Bing, which indexes billions of pages so that when you search on search terms, it can find it very quickly. While it's doing that indexing, it's actually looking for malware hosting sites and drive-by sites and so on. So it's a very powerful tool. Another source of data is the Microsoft malicious software removal tool, and that comes down and runs on over 600 million systems every single month. So literally getting, any 6-month period, you're going to get billions of executions. So, the list goes on. Very, very powerful set of telemetry. And so when you focus that on such a wide area like these 117 countries that I mentioned, the resulting report is actually pretty impressive.
Now, Vinny, the MSR, the removal tool comes from your team. You have anything to say about its capabilities?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's a great tool. A few great things about it. As Tim mentioned, over 600 million executions every month. We see about a 4 to 6 to 8% return, meaning that we clean 4 to 6 to 8% of machines that it scans every single month.
Wow,
that number's come down slightly, which is, from our perspective, some good news, meaning that machines are staying clean longer, which is a good thing. We've had some focus this past year, and in the past 6 months in particular, around bots and rogues in particular. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about rogues today. And the tool just overall has been really, really good for users to help them at least identify what's on their box and get them cleaned up pretty quickly.
That's great. You mentioned actually leading into the rogue security software, that this is actually a real threat today, and I'd really like to discuss that a little bit in more detail. Tim, what are we talking about when we talk about rogue security software?
So another name that a lot of viewers may have heard before is scareware.
Right.
So rogue security software is scareware, or fake antivirus software. So essentially what criminals are doing is they're building their own software packages, and then they're branding them as if they're legitimate antivirus programs from big brand names. And so users that are looking for a very low cost solution to put on their system will often install this type of software. Alternatively, we see this type of software get automatically installed, or automagically as we say, by systems that have been compromised by Trojan downloaders and the like. And so criminals, once they have control of a system, will actually download this rogue security software, and it'll appear to the user as if someone else installed it on the system for them. Wow. And so very powerful value proposition, and a very, very difficult type of software to get off the box.
Tim, thank you very much for that information. Vinny, now there's a lot of detail associated with the information that's collected on rogue security. I know this is something that you're very concerned about.
Yeah, fortunately, as I mentioned before, with the MSRT, we've done a lot of work there. Microsoft Security Essentials has done a lot of work in helping clean people up as well. I mean, we removed over 18 million rogues from infected systems throughout all of 2010, and that number doesn't look to be any different as we go forward into 2011, right? the top 5 accounted for over 13 million, systems that were cleaned up. So, it's pretty important for us to stay vigilant around this specific area. Not only do people have their machines compromised, but in many cases, because they're paying somebody to remove something that they believe is on their machine, they lose credit card, personal information as well. So that becomes pretty important for us to focus on. Fake Spy Pro was one of the top threats that we went ahead and removed from people's machines, over the past year, using MSRT in particular. And another one called Fake PAV has become really, really big and pretty successful, unfortunately, for some of the bad guys. It's one of the many rogues that impersonates being Microsoft Security Essentials. So people just need to be wary about the fact that they don't need to pay for something that calls itself Security Essentials because it's free. They just need to come to the Microsoft website, Microsoft.com, and they can download it for free and stay protected and not have to worry about getting infected.
That's a great recommendation, actually, to install a software package that we do give away to protect our customers. Tim, what is Microsoft Security Essentials? I know that this is something that's growing, and we definitely try to encourage our consumers to use.
Right. Microsoft Security Essentials, it provides consumers with basic AV removal. So, for customers that live in regions that they might not be able to get antivirus software in the language that they use, or they're not in a position economically to pay $29.99 a month or the equivalent in their region for that, Microsoft Security Essentials is a really good alternative. And Vinny's lab, the Microsoft Malware Protection Center, is the lab doing all of the research and response that essentially enables the Microsoft Security Essentials to find and remove all of the viruses and Trojans and rogue security software that are out there in the world today.
Wow, that's great. Vinny?
Well, what's interesting about that is with Fake PAV, just in Q4 alone, we removed it from 731,000 machines. So if you do some of the math and you think about that, if we kept that pace throughout the year, that's close to 3 million machines that we would remove it from. That's what, like a 2% difference.
Right.
So having that 2% convert itself into real security essential numbers goes a long way in keeping people protected, not only from the rogues, but other things that we've looked at this year as well around, some of the gaming problems that we've had, some of the bot problems that people have had, and some of the plain old virus numbers that we've seen, all up. In addition, of course, we protect people from adware, and adware grew quite a bit this year as well. So all up, finding yourself with great AV on the box is really where you want to be, and not be in a situation where you pay $29, $39, $49 for something that's not uninfecting you as much as it is infecting you, and then causing you some long-term problems with your identity.
Now, to be clear, there are some legitimate software packages out there that you can pay for. How do you tell the difference?
Well, I think one of the ways that you want to tell the difference is that you don't want to try to get yourself protected by something that comes to you and says, oh, you're infected, especially if you don't have it on your machine at the time. You want to go to a trusted source, whether it be to a vendor that you know, okay, or to some download site that you're very familiar with and that you trust. That'd be critical. But usually, think about it this way. The banks will typically send you out a message saying, we won't come to you or ask you for any personal information. So you should think about that when you think about if somebody comes to you and says, you're infected, we're going to remove, or you want to get this removed from your machine, and you have no antivirus software, it's a pretty good chance that it's rogue software coming to your machine. You got infected already, and you should contact a trusted vendor to help you get that off your system.
Great, thank you very much, Vinny. Any last points on protecting your computer?
Tim?
It's just like Vinny said, it's all about trust, right? So trusting software vendors, the mantra is if you don't trust the vendor, don't trust the software. So if you don't know who the software is from, or you don't understand where it's coming from, don't install it.
Excellent.
Great point.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Vinny and Tim, thanks for your time. And if you're interested in any of this information or additional information that we've spoke about today, you can find it all on our website at www.microsoft.com/SIR. Thank you very much.